What is up, beautiful people? It's me, Tara J, back again with another one. And today we are cooking the best Mexican birria de res consomme. Okay? If I pronounce that wrong, I'm sorry, but we're about to make it and we're about to get it cooking, and I'm so excited. But before I do that, I do want to shout out these two people because I've been like stalking their YouTube channels, looking at their recipes, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta make that, I gotta make that, I gotta make that. And I thought, why not make a video about it, right? So her name is actually, the first person that I was looking at is, shout out to her. Her YouTube channel is Views on the Road. So when she make this consomme, it looks so good, and I was like, oh my god, I have to figure out how to make it exactly like that. I also saw this one guy, he from Chicago, his YouTube channel is Law Canon, like the camera Canon, Canon. So I was like, okay, let me try to put these two mixtures together and see what I can come up with. I have literally every single thing that I need, so I'm excited about that. I'm just so excited because it's gonna be so good. It's just gonna be so good. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's get into it. But before we get into that, I do want to make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, okay? Don't wait no longer. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button as you watch this video so you can get in tune with all my old videos and new videos, because honey, this is not the only cooking video that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be making so much more. I post a lot of my pictures that I do on my Instagram story, but you know what? I thought, why not bring it to YouTube, right? Get my views popping, let you know that everybody cooking nowadays, because why not? So go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, hit the bell right next to the subscribe button so you know every time I post a video, okay? Okay, beautiful people, so this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need your beef bone. This is what's gonna give it the flavor, create the broth that you really need for the sauce. I got this from the local meat market. I don't really like to buy stuff like this from the grocery store, so I went ahead and got this from the meat market. It's probably like $1.99 a pound. I probably paid about $4 for both of these. And then you have here your boneless chuck roast. This was maybe about $9 to $10. It was a really big slab. I did have to cut it in half, as you can see here, because my pot isn't big enough to fit them both. So the next thing we're gonna need is bay leaves, of course. I have 2 packs of these, even though there's only one sitting here. I did get 2 just in case. And then we have our, I don't want to pronounce this wrong, but I believe it's called, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but the chile peppers. These are dry peppers you're gonna need. I do know that the difference is between the Mexico one and this one is the temperature, really. This one seems, as you can see, is a bit hotter than this one here. So I decided to get both just so I can give just that hit to them. So I'm gonna like split it in half when I put them in the pot and when I make the sauce. Here is the carrots that I'm gonna need because of course it does add the flavor. And then I have the whole garlic and a whole onion. I have salt here, and then I have my chicken bouillon. I don't have the seasoning that I've been seeing most people do, but hey, I'm just gonna put a few of these cubes in there, and I don't think it'll make a difference, you know? So we're gonna go ahead and get into it now. I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff in the pot and bring it up to a boil, okay? As you can see, I already added the stuff to the pot. I only used one of the beef bones because my pot is too little. And I put half an onion in here because, again, my pot is too little. And then I just I didn't chop all the beef up, but I just kind of like cut it into 4s just so it can all fit in here, as you can see. And then I put my carrots in there because, of course, that is going to give you the extra flavor. And then the garlic, I did use the whole garlic clove. And I peeled the garlic because I thought, hey, that's what makes sense. But I didn't see too many other people that peeled the garlic because they seem like the garlic that they use is like whole. And when I was peeling mine, it broke apart. But hey, it still serves its purpose, right? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and add these Doritos. Oh, I might be pronouncing this wrong. Oh, it's so hard to pronounce. But these chile peppers, I'm gonna mix it up. Actually, I'm gonna use the New Mexico one and the regular one. I'm gonna put about 5 of each inside of here. Maybe about, yeah, about 5 each in here. No, I'm gonna put about 4 each. So that one here is, I mean, you can't really tell the difference just unless you got like the cover and you know like which is which. As you can see, they look the exact same, but clearly one is hotter than the other. Look at this one. This one is huge. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in here as well. I'm gonna try to fit another one. I'm gonna try to fit another one in because you need that spice. And of course, as you can see, I already cut the fire on. So it's on medium high. If you, whatever, that's probably like 5, 6-ish. And I'm gonna top this off and put the last one in there. This is perfect. So after that, I'm gonna go ahead and drop some bay leaves in. I'm probably just gonna use maybe about 8 or 9 of them. I don't really have a specific count. Bay leaves is just gonna, it's gonna do what it needs to do. Okay, I don't want to see you guys off and act like I know what the bay leaves do, but I know that this is what you're supposed to do. And yeah, and I would recommend you use a wooden spoon to stir it up, just for the sake of, you don't want anything to get too hot. You may touch the wrong spot and then you burn your hand, because this is gonna come to a boil. And what I'm gonna do now is let this boil for about maybe an hour total. And I'm gonna come back and try to get in within like 20 minutes. I'm gonna come back and try to get the impurities out of it, just so it can be much better for you and the broth can be much more clear. Shout out to views of on the road. That's what she said. But if I don't come back, it's okay, because it's also okay. You can eat it or you don't. It just comes from the fat of your meat. That's pretty much it. It's not going to kill you if you eat it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cover this up now and let it come to a boil. Let it sit for about an hour. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to cover it up because I don't want it to boil over. So I'm going to let it uncover for about 30 minutes. And then within the next 30 minutes, I'm going to come back and I'm going to cover it up. Oh no, guys. I almost forgot to put my chicken bouillon cubes in. So I'm going to go ahead and drop 3 of these in here. Ooh, I almost forgot. That was going to be a tragedy. It was just a tragedy waiting to happen. Okay? So I did go ahead and drop that in. That we need that. Okay? Ooh, I would have been salty if I would have forgot to put that in there. I would have went back to watch their videos and I would have been like, oh no, I forgot. But I didn't. Your girl did not forget. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and come back to you guys within an hour, like I said, or 30 minutes to cover it up and check it out. Okay, guys, I'm really hot right now. Like, it's super hot in this kitchen, but I do want to make sure you guys know that this takes about 3 hours to accomplish, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get our juice and our sauce, our dipping sauce, or whatever they call it. I'm going to go ahead and make that, because that takes the best, they say the best flavor is having it sit up to 3 to 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out the way really quickly and show you guys how to make that dipping sauce that everybody craves so much. And get that out the way and let that sit to the side. Put my oils together, and ooh, I'm just so excited right now. This is going to be so good. And I'm sweating like I'm working hard. I am working hard because this is my first time ever making it, but it's hot in here. Okay? How is it extremely hot but thunderstorming outside? Like, how does that even make sense? So here we have our chiles. Again, I did mix the 2 spices up, and I'm just gonna cut it up like this and take any seeds out that may be in there. There's a few. There's just really little seeds. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. Cut it up to about this size. And I'm gonna put them in some oil. I have some oil heating up over there on the stove right now, so go ahead and do that. heat the oil up, and then you're gonna sit a few of your chiles in the oil until it get brown. You don't want to burn it, you just want it to get dark a little bit, okay? So as my oil is heating up, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish cutting this up, taking the seeds out from what I don't need. And this is what it will come out to look like, guys. Just gonna cut it up as many out as I can. If I need more, I'll just go ahead and get more. I'm happy I went back to the store to get another bag of these because I was not sure if one bag was going to be enough. Yeah, it's really filled with seeds, so you do want to make sure you get the seeds out because the seeds are not necessary at all. Let me go check on my oil really quickly. I'm going to turn my fire down on my meat because it looks like it is about to boil over. What I'm thinking about doing is taking a little bit of the water out of it when I put my broth together and cook this and create the broth for it. I'm probably going to take some of the water out just because it's just a lot in there. Hopefully that doesn't go wrong. Nothing goes wrong with me taking the water out. But again, guys, this is my first time making it, and I hope it turns out well. And if you're watching this so you can make it for your first time too, good luck, okay? It's not that hard, but it does take some time, and you just got to be patient with it. And just got to keep thinking to yourself how great it is going to be at the end. And wondering why these carrots are sitting here, because I am going to add a little bit more carrots to the broth when I add the finishing broth to it. I do have carrots in there now, but I'm going to just add a little bit more just for a little bit more flavor, okay? So I'm going to add some of these here into the oil because it's probably hot now. Yeah, it looks like it's hot. I feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and add this into my oil, all right? There you have it. I did add them into the oil. Just be careful not to pop yourself. You're not going to have this in here for a long time. We just want the oil to get that kick. I probably should get a little bit more oil, but we shall see. Yeah, I'm going to add some more oil to it because we do need this oil at the end for our dipping sauce. That's what's important. This is gonna add so much flavor to our dipping. I'm gonna get the exact name for it so I don't be sitting here saying dipping sauce. As you can see, I did add a little bit more oil in here. It's okay that I added it after the fact. It's not gonna make a difference, but my peppers are getting dark. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take them out in about maybe 10 seconds. Oh my God, do you guys know it smells so good? Check this out, guys. Look, it's overflowing. I told you guys it was gonna overflow because my pot is so little. I probably need to take this water out now, but with that being said, it just smells so good in here. And here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and take these out right now. And when you take them out, you're not gonna throw them away. You're just gonna put them to the side, and we're gonna use them for something later, okay? So this is what I'm going to show you guys now. I believe this is the consomme part of the dish. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry, but to me, it's the dipping sauce. It may be called the consomme sauce. Please put it in the comments so I can know exactly what it is, but I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you guys what to use, what to do, and the things you're going to need, okay? So, of course, we're going to need a blender here. And then we're going to add our chili peppers that we just put in the oil. We're gonna add that into the blender, get that out the way. I didn't blend all of my chili peppers, so I'm gonna put the ones that I didn't put in the oil. I'm gonna put these in here too, just for a different effect. And then what I'm gonna do now is get my oregano. Can you see it? There it is. I'm gonna get my oregano. I am gonna use, at the most, I'm gonna use a tablespoon of pretty much everything, because I don't have one of those measuring spoons, but to each his own. Some people use teaspoons, some people use 1 tablespoon. It's really your preference, honestly, how you want the flavor to be, but I don't think it'll hurt you using a tablespoon. So I'm gonna go ahead and add just a tablespoon of the oregano. As you see here, it's okay if some is falling in. Put that in there. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put just a little bit more in there. See, just a little bit more. So about 1.5 tablespoons. Here is my ground clove. I'm gonna go ahead and put the same exact amount in there because you do want it to be flavorful. You know what? I'm not gonna do that actually. I'm gonna put just 1 tablespoon in there. Some dropped in, but here you have it. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in there. This is, again, I do believe it's the consomme, but it could be called something else. So at this point in time, I'm just gonna call it the dipping sauce, okay? Oh, and garlic powder, of course, garlic powder. I got this huge thing from the meat market. The meat market is like a straight come up. Like, if you don't shop at the meat market, you're crazy, okay? The grocery stores be taxing on meat especially. So if I can go get it from the meat market, I shall. I can get a whole bunch of meat for 80 bucks. For 80 bucks, I can get about 3 things from the grocery store. A good grocery store like Marmiano's or Whole Foods. Like, what? No way. Nonetheless, I'm going to add some pepper in here. Same thing. I'm going to put a tablespoon. That's all. And then I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. Not too much. And let's go ahead and blend it up. So I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. This is what it comes out to look like. It probably could be blended a little bit more, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it out, put the blender knife back in there, and then put this back in just so we can blend a little bit more, okay? So this here is what it will end up looking like before you add the flavored vegetable oil, whatever oil that you used to make the peppers brown. This is what it will come out looking like when you blend up all the seasonings together. As I stated, I am gonna go ahead and put it back in there just a little bit because see, I still have like whole peppers, chile peppers in there. And this time I'm gonna go ahead just to make it a little bit sweet because this is gonna be hot as hell probably. So I'm gonna put a tablespoon and a half of sugar in here and blend that up together as well, just on the safe side, you know. because I don't want my mouth to be burning. It's making the bowl red. It's so crazy. It's hilarious, actually. And then I'm gonna go ahead with my sugars, as I stated. You don't want to over sweeten it, but you do want to have it just sweet enough, okay? That is good. I'm not gonna do a tablespoon and a half. That's more than enough. And I'm gonna go ahead and blend that up again and finish up. Okay, now that I have that back in the blender, I'm gonna go ahead and blend it up as I stated, just so we can get why would I start blending as I'm talking? Just so we can get a little bit more blended up, okay? There you have it. This is the base for your sauce. Oh my God, I'm so excited. It is perfectly blended. Yikes, I'm so happy. I'm just, ooh, my mouth is watering just thinking about how great these tacos are about to be. Okay? And don't be putting in the comments now that you want me to make this for you, because nah. Are you subscribed to my channel? I gotta know. But next step we're gonna do, remember that oil that we used to brown our chiles? So we're gonna drop some of the oil up in here, and that is what's gonna create the dipping sauce, okay? When I say I'm not lying, I'm not lying. Let's get to it, okay? Let me go ahead and grab the oil. And then you want to go, what you want to do next is grab your wooden spoon, and that's where you're going to stir this up with. You want to do it kind of quickly. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Honey, when I say this is going to be fire, this is going to be fire. Look at that. It's so good already. I'm excited. I can't even dance, and I'm over here dancing. I'm doing a Tootsie Roll right now. Look at that. Ooh. And you know what? Most people, what they do is add some red dye in it. When you go to the restaurants, that's what they do. They add red dye in it, and that's what makes it red. But look at that. Like, this is already red, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stir that up. Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up. I'm excited. And I'm gonna let this sit pretty much for the duration of cooking, because the stuff in the pot is probably gonna take another hour and a half tops, just so the meat can be tender and it can be dropping off the bone. That's how you want it to be, y'all. That is how you want it to be. You want it to be dropping off the bone. So I'm going to go ahead and let this sit. I'm not too sure what's the best option, to put it in the refrigerator, to not. So I'm just going to leave it out, honestly. And yeah. I'm excited. When it cooled down, I'm going to go ahead and taste it. Taste the salt level of it. That's probably what's best. What you guys can do, if you got some tortilla chips, go ahead and dip that in and see what it tastes like that. But stir it up real good, because you still got that seasoning down there that you want to go into effect with the oil, okay? Y'all, I'm thirsty. My stomach is growling. It ain't growling. I'm lying, but I'm ready to eat this, okay? Look at that. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This, oh my God, so many different cultures. Like, of course, I'm Black and I have Black culture, but there's so many different cultures out there, so many different foods you can try to make and try to taste. Like, why not? Let me tell you guys a funny story. I was in the grocery store and I went to like every single Hispanic or Latina person and I was like, yeah, I'm looking for these peppers. I'm not sure the name of it. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. And they were laughing at me like, I'm so happy that they didn't get offended. And they were just started laughing like, oh yeah, these peppers. I'm like, yeah, here's the video right here. This is what I'm looking for. And they was cracking up. Like, it's cool. I'm happy that there's so many cool people in the world and they didn't get offended because it's not really that serious. Like, you're stressing yourself out for no reason, you know? So go ahead and keep on stirring it. Keep on stirring it. I'm not really sure how long you should stir it up, but I'm just over here talking to you guys, admiring the look of this oil, honey. Okay. Ooh, it's gonna be good. I can't even wait. I already know it's gonna be good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit for a couple hours. I'm gonna cover it up with like a saran wrap or something like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and check on the, I think my light just went out, but I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and check on the rest of the food in the pot. Okay, beautiful people, I am making a mess. But whatever, that comes with cooking, right? So I'm just gonna use the same exact blender that I used to make our dipping sauce. Again, I do believe it's called consomme, but don't quote me on that because I could be wrong. I kind of wish I would have took these purities out because it just looks so funny looking, but I'm not gonna die if I eat it. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and take out these peppers. I forgot to get something that I needed. This. Make sure you guys have one of these. Take out your chile peppers and drop them in the blender. And at this time, ooh, look how red they are. They got red. It wasn't this red when I first put them in. And when I take these out, what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of salt in here. Not in the blender, but in the actual pot. I'm gonna put some salt in there. Probably like maybe I'm gonna sprinkle it with my hand. Honestly, I'm not gonna do a full tablespoon or full spoonful, tablespoon, teaspoon, whichever one. Okay. I do believe I have all of the peppers. Ooh, look at that. The onion is coming right apart. That's how you know this is cooking. It's coming right apart. Okay. I'm geeked. Look at that. This is gonna be good. The meat is almost falling apart. This smells amazing, amazing, amazing. I do believe I have all of the chili powder. The chili peppers. So what I'm gonna do now is take some of this broth out of here. You probably should use something better, but hey, whatever you got, use it. And I'm gonna put it in here just so it can blend up really good. Ooh, look at that. This looks so good. Look at that. This started as water, okay? Drop that up in there. One more. You know what? I'm gonna do about 2 more. Okay. Why not? Now that we have our chili peppers and our broth in here, we're gonna go ahead and blend that up. Of course. Let's go ahead and pop that off in here. And you know what? It may give it some extra flavor that we use the same blender without cleaning it out that we did for the dipping sauce, okay? So check that out. Look at this. our goal is to have this completely liquefied. Ooh, look at that. It is smoking. Do y'all see that smoke? It's smoking hot. Like, oh my God. That looks wonderful. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it up a little bit just to make sure it is liquefied like it should be. Yep, honey. Look at that. Ooh. You see that? This is what it comes out to look like. This is perfect. So we're going to go ahead and transfer this back into our pot with the meat and everything else. And let it continue to cook. By themselves. These are the new carrots that, of course, I added in there. The old carrots are probably at the bottom. And then we're going to go ahead and add this spicy sauce. This is the chili peppers that I blended up with the broth in here. Yeah, let me go ahead and put the camera down because I can't hold the camera and scrape this out. I want to get all of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that out real quick. Okay, so now that I have it all scraped out, I'm just gonna go ahead and stir this up really good just so it can just get sucked into the broth. Look how red and wonderful this looks. I probably should use my right hand because I'm right-handed, okay? Look at that. This is wonderful. It smells, when I say this smells amazing, you guys, like, I'm not even lying. Like, this smells so freaking good. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to turn this bone over because most of the sauce went on the bone. So I just want to suck that up into the juice. Look, ooh, look at that. Look at that, y'all. This is crazy. Get that bone back up in that juice. Yep, this is perfect. Do you see that? Look at that, guys. Look at that. Wonderful. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add some more bay leaves in here. Why not? One thing that I did not do that one of the YouTubers did was add chili powder to the dipping sauce. So I did forget to do that. So I'm just gonna jazz this up a little bit and add the dipping sauce in here. I mean, not dipping sauce. Add the chili powder in here now. I'm also gonna add it on top of the dipping sauce and just mix it in like that. I didn't measure it, I kind of winged it. So if you guys want to measure it, to each his own. I can't really tell you how much you're supposed to measure it. But yeah. And then I'm going to cover it up and I'm probably going to let it cook for another hour or so. And then I can go chill and sit down for an hour because that's how long it's probably going to take. Put the top back on here and clean my mess up and sit down. Like, I don't necessarily think that the chili powder is like a necessity because you got chili pepper already. But hey, he said it was a good idea, so I'm gonna trust him and believe that it was a good idea. Okay. Stir that in here, and now what I'm gonna do, it's been sitting so far, and it's like you can tell that the powder and the seasoning underneath the oil is thickening. So again, I'm not too sure. Look at that. I made a huge mess. But I'm not too sure if I should refrigerate this. So I'm going to, and to see what it turns out like, I'm going to cover it up with like plastic wrap or whatever. And then when I want to heat it back up, I'm just going to put it into like a little pan and heat it up. And it should come out to be just fine. Okay? Okay. Now that I have everything cleaned up, the kitchen is back to how it looked when I first started. I can go ahead, chill, relax, kick my feet up, enjoy my drink. Okay, so this is take two. I'm gonna go ahead and get my shell. You do want to have the fire off while you're doing this process, unless you have it on the final pot or pan that you're gonna use to actually cook the taco all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip that up in here, the original broth that we made the meat in, as such. And then we're gonna come over here and put this in the oil that we created for our dipping sauce. And then it's a hole in it. I don't know how to do it, guys. I'm gonna keep it like that. And then we're gonna put it in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and take that. We're gonna be great, guys. We're gonna be great. So the next step for you to do is put some mozzarella cheese on it, or your preference, whatever cheese you like. But I'm gonna put some mozzarella cheese on the side over here. Mozzarella it up, and then we're gonna add the meat, of course. Add how much you want on here. It really does not matter how much meat you put on there. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our onions and cilantro. Add a little bit more cheese. Cilantro was sticking to my hand, guys. And we're gonna go ahead and close that up. Everything is sticking to my hand right now. This is crazy. Let me go get something else to use because that knife is not it. Flip that. So the finished product will be as such. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one more time because clearly I made a mess because it was my first time doing it. So I'm gonna do it one more time for you guys, okay? So again, what we're gonna do is take one of our shells, put it in the broth that we created from the very beginning. Get it all jazzed up. As you see, it doesn't matter how much you do, it's okay. And then what we're gonna do is drain that off really quickly. These shells are kind of cheesy, they keep breaking. Put it in our oil that we created. And then we're gonna drop that onto here. As you see, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that fire down because that's outrageous. Put that cheese on top of there. Add your meat, however much meat you like. And you know what I did, guys? As you can see, I decided to keep the corn in, I mean not the corn, the carrots in there for a special flavor when you're eating it. That's up to you. It's quite optional. I haven't seen somebody do that yet, but definitely keep the corn carrots in there. Give it some extra oomph. Go ahead and add your onions and your cilantro. Put a little bit more cheese in there. And let's go ahead and close this bad fella up. It's coming right out of it. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Let that sit for a little while, and then we're gonna go ahead and flip it over. Look at that. Look how good that looks. Let's go ahead and take that out. And there you have it. Okay guys, excuse my messy bowl, but this took a whole lot, okay? But now that we have them done, let's go ahead and try them out. Let's break that open. Ooh, look at that. I'm excited. Ooh. This tastes really good.